So, let's move right along because look, now we're here, finally at the bye week. Let's go back and revisit some of the ways what we thought earlier in the season. Maybe what were some of our expectations? Will, have we surpassed our season expectations? What record did you have earlier in the year?
Oh, we've completely surpassed him, and we I think I was thinking 7-10 with the idea of potentially being 8-9 if we got one. So yeah, I mean we have hit my goal with we got 4 games left to play. Is my math right? Yeah, 4 games left to play, and a real good chance that we're gonna we're looking at potentially 10 wins. 10, 11 wins. Might be hitting double digits. So yeah. I really thought this coaching staff, there was just too much talent. There's too much knowledge on this coaching staff to think that we wouldn't be better this season than we were last. Not that hard of to improve from last year. But I mean, to double the wins already at the bye week, it's pretty incredible what they've accomplished so far.
Oh yeah. And to your point, like the bar wasn't that high. We only had to get past 4 wins and to have it doubled. Yeah, I had 8-9 myself. So I didn't think we were going to get it here. There's a number of games that we won that I didn't expect us to win, namely maybe Cincinnati and maybe the Cardinals, and we showed out like we did in those games. So this is what I expected. When you have 30 plus new players, when you have an enormously good talent at quarterback, I mean, that takes so much pressure off of the rest of the team, knowing this guy can get the job done. Just keep him clean for the offensive line. Catch the ball for the wide receivers. Run hard for the run. You know what I mean? Like, it's all collective, and they play better because of the fact that that they have him back there. So it feels good in that regard. And just the fact that the players that we got, I know earlier in the year we were kind of suspect. Hey, J Red, where your guys at, man? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Armstrong, Fowler, Biadis, these guys, Noah Brown, all these guys that have come in here, they're all showing up. Bobby Wagner is playing, I mean, almost over 100 tackles. You know what I mean? Like Frankie Louvu, these guys are playing out of their mind. And, when you think about it, we didn't expect this, but if we saw this coming, then this is kind of what to be expected. We have the talent, we have the coaches. Now we're kind of putting it together, and we're at least putting ourselves in a position to have a December to remember. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is definitely something a lot better than the last 4 years at this particular time. You know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about who surprised us. Like, I'll start off on the offense. I've actually really been surprised with Zach Ertz. Remember, he was signed, was it right before free agency started? Because I think he had been cut, or he was on the practice squad, or not really on someone's roster. So it was in 1 year, $5 million. It was an under-the-radar signing. He's our second leading receiver with 52 catches. Yeah. Now, he's not getting much yards after he catches the ball, but he's one of Jaden's comforts out there, and he knows where to go to get open. And, he's been healthy. He's been really, really effective. And, we heard a little bit of that in training camp. We were hearing some of the reporters saying, hey, Zach Ertz really seems to be like their second target. And, you're like, okay, well, what type of Zach Ertz are we going to get? And I thought he's been really, really impressive this season, and he has far surpassed my expectations.
Oh, yeah. I like that. For me, I'm going to go back to what did we talk about during the 53-man mock roster? My own line. That's my favorite part. Hey, it's mix and match, musical chairs. We had so many different guys that have put in there with Biadis and Allegretti, and then Cosme over here, Wiley back, and then you have the rookie. You nobody knew what to expect, but I mean they have truly come together. And actually, I mean, Jaden definitely helps with his mobility and him getting out of trouble, but otherwise they've definitely kept him clean. I mean, I might even want to add in Bates, in there, and Senat, who've been playing more as a blocking tight end. And I mean, the fact that they've been able to keep him upright and give him the necessary time, he's going through several reads when he's back there. And the fact that they're able to do that, coming from what we had last year, where at this time we're just record upon record, most sacks by week 13, most sacks by week 4, all this different stuff. Sam, I'm sorry they did that to you, Sam. All right, I still got
no, it is. You're right.
well, you're still seeing blitzers come. I know, Sam. I'm
He
sorry.
is. He got done dirty last year. I mean, Jared's agreeing with us. We certainly are ahead of schedule. And you're right. That offensive line, we were worried going into this season.
Yeah.
We're like, left tackle. We don't have a left tackle right now. You guys didn't do anything in the off season. Right. We're like, we're banking on a 3rd round pick who's hurt in training camp. Like, what are we doing here? It's worked out. Tyler Biotish has been a huge signing, anchoring that middle. It reminds me of, remember in the Joe Gibbs 2.0 when we signed Casey Robach?
Mm-hmm.
And everything just kind of got a little bit better there. We already had our bookends on the sides and stuff. And it just, we had Jansen and Samuels in there, Randy Thomas, but Robach just kind of glued it all together and got them on the same page. And you're kind of seeing that with Biotish. And so I'm with you. Yeah, they've been a pleasant surprise. I'll let you start on defense. Who's kind of surpassed your expectations?
For me, honestly, I am extremely surprised with how dominant Dante Fowler Jr. has done. I've always, I've talked about him, and let's get him in on a 1-year flyer. But even then, I just thought he's a positional guy. He'll be out there. He'll do what he does, and he's not really going to separate and make people think, oh my God, look at this guy. To have the year that he's had. 8.5 sacks? I mean, what do you have, like 6 or 7 games straight with a sack in each game? The fact that he is such an impact player doing what he's doing, I didn't expect to see him do this well. I mean, he's earned his paycheck. He's earning some attention to get a bigger contract. Like, he's balling out, and I didn't expect it. I knew he was going to do well, but what I'm seeing, I am pleasantly surprised, man. Keep it up, young man, because that has definitely been so beneficial for us on defense, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think our linebackers absolutely have surpassed expectations. Is just like you said, Dante Fowler, you see why he follows Dan Quinn wherever he goes, because it's just a scheme that fits him. I mean, like you said, he's leading our team in sacks right now. And right behind him is Frankie Louvu with 8 sacks. This was the guy. Frankie was the guy we were most excited about going into training camp. Like that signing, the fact that he was one of the few that they committed to for multi-years. It was like, okay, so they see something in this guy. And, I mean, he's playing at an incredible level. 8 sacks, so he's right behind. The fact that we have 16.5 sacks, that's top 5 in the NFL right now for duos. I believe the Texans are at like 19 or 21. The Vikings are the same. So, I mean, we're right up there with some of the teams compared to the last couple of years where we have not been that way. And, Luvu's also this catalyst out there. He can play the run well. He's emotional. The guys get behind him. You can tell that he's a leader out there. And then the last one is, we're talking leader. You mentioned Bobby Wagner. He's at 104 tackles. It's week 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. I mean, in our 13 games, he already has 104 tackles. He tied London Fletcher for that streak of I think it's like 13 seasons in a row of having over 100 tackles. So here's a kind of thing for you. Bobby Wagner, everyone's saying is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He just tied London Fletcher. Why is London Fletcher not in the Hall of Fame?
There you go.
If you're going to say Bobby Wagner is, where's London?
Come on.
We were ecstatic when Bobby Wagner signed with us. We had he wants to come to Washington, this guy? And so it was incredible that he was able to sign with us. We knew he'd be a leader. But you kind of had vibes of Thomas Davis with Ron Rivera's first year, where he was a locker room guy, but the dude had lost it on the field. Wagner is showing that is not the case. So, yeah, that linebacker unit has been great after all these years of ignoring the linebacker.
Yeah, finally, we have linebacker. But yeah, to your point, that was definitely something I wanted to see. I knew us getting him was going to be nice, but I didn't know what him we were going to get. And clearly he is the same. He's always been. And shout out to everything he's doing. But he also brings that calm to that D line and to that linebacker core and to that whole entire defense, because he's talking to everybody. His head is on the swivel. He's calling stuff out. And that truly, I think, is an advantage that has made a mediocre defense play definitely above their weight, having somebody there and just somebody that everybody could look to and talk to and be like, all right, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Everybody come together. And you know what? And to be honest, I am also surprised about our secondary. And, we know how bad it is. Like, we know that it's not one of the strengths on our team, but I mean, talk about bend but don't break. Like, we've given up big numbers to certain players, but we haven't given up the game in certain situations. Like, even in some of these games where we played top tier wide receivers, you look at the Philly game, we did pretty good in that one. We got gashed in the run game. The run has been our run defense has been the one thing that's really been upsetting, and it's really been just hurting us. Our pass defense has actually been fairly decent throughout this year at certain points, man. So I think that's something that I definitely didn't expect. I thought all these receivers are going up there just going to continue to torch us. But the way that our defense is setting up and we're playing, we kind of know, hey, we're not going to beat you man to man. Let's sit back in the zone, keep everything in front of us, tackle. Sammer still again, just define form tackles. I mean, this guy is moving himself up there. I know he's too small to be outside, but I'll take him outside with his size and that heart over anybody, because he's going out there and proving that he just let me play, and I love that. I love that about him. So.
Yeah, no, I think, and I'll admit this, Alex, when you hear this, like, you keep saying that Sanders still should be on the outside, and I keep yelling back, he wasn't drafted to be an outside corner. Let him do what they want him to do. But I'm with you. Like, if he's proving that he's right now our best corner, playing on the outside, or he'll be our number 2, then maybe we need to keep him out there. He continues to progress. Obviously, physically, there's a concern there, but yeah, he's been so impressive. And you're so right. It's a great point. Kind of talk about how the secondary hasn't been as awful as we thought. If you think about it, like the first time all season, I can remember a touchdown happening where we kind of went, oh, they're looking around and they don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Well, the Tampa Bay game was a little bit of that, but then it was the Dallas game. It was the tight end touchdown, but everything in between then. That used to be one of our pet peeves, is the whole finger pointing as the other team is celebrating the end zone. It's like, figure it out.
Right. Yes, but things have definitely changed in that, and hey, I am happy for it. And again, this is what you expect: new coaching, new 30+ new players, all that. But I think the major surprise is how quickly it happened and how quickly it kind of seemed to turn around happen. Albeit we still struggle with the big teams, but the fact that we've been able to come together collectively as quick with the pieces that we have, it's a shout out to the coaches. I mean, it's incredibly impressive, man.
It is. I love this little spot that Jared said. I am going to give Ab some credit. I'm going to first say, and I think Ab's on the right track here. Let's give him a chance to be a number 2. When in his time here has he had a real chance to be a number 2? So let's give him that opportunity. But I'm also okay moving on from St. Juice. Completely okay with it this offseason.
If we could find better, you can do better. Let's just go.
And, I meant to send this to you and Ab in our chat by releasing Emmanuel Forbes and him getting picked up, we save $5 million against his contract. So we can use some of that money now and flip it to somebody maybe that can help out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's about time to go ahead and make that happen, man, because I just don't think he's doing much for us at the moment, Mr. St. Juice, and he's getting flags. He's holding.
He's good at that.
He's a PI guy, and he's good at just his little celebrations. So
great tugging.
Yeah, we know what he does. So hey, we will see. But look, yeah, that's we have so far surpassed our season expectations.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go.
The Washington Commanders. There it is.